He recorded his first hit in a closet. No studio, no producer. Just a phone, a dream, and a voice that sounded like heartbreak wrapped in static. That voice would go viral. It would sell out shows. It would land him on tour with SZA and in rooms with the biggest names in music. But now, that same voice is silent. Because on September 8th, 2025, a Tesla was found abandoned in the Hollywood Hills. Inside the trunk, the body of a 14-year-old girl. And suddenly, the lyrics that once hit hard and felt poetic started to feel prophetic. This isn't just a story about fame. It's about obsession, identity, and the haunting power of silence. Because before the headlines, before the investigation, before the body in the trunk, there was just a boy in a closet, singing about heartbreak. And now, the world is asking, was it art or something more? Before the Tesla, before the headlines, before the silence, David was just a homeschooled kid in Houston, making Fortnite montages and dodging copyright strikes. His world was small, tight-knit, quiet, and deeply religious. Until age 13, he wasn't even allowed to listen to secular music. His playlist was gospel only, curated by his mom, who believed in protecting her son from the noise of the outside world. But the noise eventually found him anyway. It all started with YouTube. David was uploading Fortnite clips, trying to build a channel. But every time he used a popular song, the video got demonetized. Frustrated, he turned to his mom. Her advice: make your own music. Simple, direct, life-changing. So he did. Armed with nothing but a phone and the BandLab app, David started recording in his sister's closet. No studio, no producer, just raw emotion and a kid trying to make something that wouldn't get flagged. The closet became his sanctuary, a place where he could experiment, fail, and find his voice, literally. His early tracks were rough but honest. You and I, Runaway, Take Me to the Sun. Songs that felt like diary entries set to lo-fi beats. He uploaded them to SoundCloud, quietly building a catalog that would later be dissected by fans and critics alike. At the time, they were just sketches. Now they're breadcrumbs. Because even in those early songs, there were hints. Themes of isolation, obsession, control. The kind of emotional intensity that felt too sharp for someone so young. But that's what made it compelling. David wasn't trying to be polished. He was trying to be heard, and slowly, he was. His voice, soft, haunting, and strangely mature, started catching attention, not from labels, not from execs, but from kids like him, gamers, outsiders, teenagers scrolling through TikTok at 2 a.m., looking for something that felt real. David's music didn't sound like it came from a studio. It sounded like it came from a bedroom, because it did. That authenticity became his brand. No gimmicks, no industry polish, just a kid in a closet, singing about heartbreak and loneliness. And while the world hadn't noticed yet, the foundation was being laid. Because before the fame, before the fallout, before the investigation, there was just a boy, a phone, and a closet full of dreams. In July 2022, everything changed. David uploaded a track called Romantic Homicide, a lo-fi, emotionally raw song that sounded like heartbreak wrapped in static. It wasn't polished, it wasn't loud, but it hit like a whisper you couldn't ignore.
I killed you, and I didn't even regret it. I can't believe I said it, but it's true.
Within days, it exploded on TikTok. Teens were using it to soundtrack breakup edits, moody montages, and cryptic captions. The algorithm didn't just pick it up, it clung to it. The song charted at number 33 on the Billboard Hot 100. Not bad for a kid who still recorded in his sister's closet. But it wasn't just the sound, it was the story. Romantic Homicide felt like a confession. The lyrics were haunting. I'm scared of love, I'm scared of life. The title alone raised eyebrows. Was it metaphoric? Was it literal? Fans debated, dissected, and speculated. And David? He stayed quiet. No interviews, no explanations. Just music. That silence became part of the brand, mysterious, vulnerable, untouchable. He wasn't trying to be a pop star. He was trying to be a mirror, and people saw themselves in the cracks. Soon after, he signed with Darkroom Interscope, the same label behind Billie Eilish. His debut EP Petals to Thorns dropped in May 2023, followed by The Lost Petals later that year. The visuals were cinematic, drenched in noir aesthetics and emotional decay. One music video showed a body being dragged across a floor. Another hinted at obsession, control, and loss. But fans didn't flinch. They leaned in. Because David wasn't just singing, he was storytelling, and the stories felt real. He joined SZA's SOS tour, collaborated with Kali Uchis, Laufe, and even 21 Savage. His reach expanded, but his persona stayed the same. Quiet, introspective, emotionally raw. He rarely spoke in interviews, and when he did, his answers were clipped, guarded, almost rehearsed. The mystery deepened. Who was this kid? How did he go from Fortnite montages to sold-out shows? And why did his lyrics feel like warnings? Because beneath the lo-fi beats and poetic metaphors, there was something darker, something fans couldn't quite name, but couldn't ignore either. And then, the fiction blurred with reality. As David's fame grew, so did the mystery. He wasn't your typical breakout artist. No flashy interviews, no viral antics, no oversharing. He rarely spoke, and when he did, his words felt rehearsed, guarded, like someone who knew the spotlight could burn just as easily as it could illuminate. His public persona was quiet, introspective, emotionally raw. Fans saw him as the anti-celebrity, a kid who made music in a closet and never let the fame change him. But behind the lo-fi aesthetic and poetic lyrics was a growing tension. Because the more people listened, the more they started to notice something strange. The themes weren't just sad, they were obsessive, possessive, violent. Take One More Dance, for example. The music video shows a body being placed in a car trunk. It's stylized, sure, cinematic, but it's also unsettling. The lyrics speak of desperation, of clinging to someone who's already gone. And fans began to wonder, was this just art, or was it something more? Even his breakout hit, Romantic Homicide, felt loaded in hindsight. I'm scared of love. I'm scared of life. At the time, it sounded like heartbreak. Now, it sounds like a warning. David's visuals leaned heavily into noir, shadowy figures, blood-red lighting, slow pans across empty rooms. It was beautiful, but it was also dark. And as the Celeste Hernandez story began to unfold, fans started revisiting those videos with a different lens. Was he foreshadowing something? Or just expressing pain the only way he knew how? The line between persona and person blurred. David wasn't just an artist anymore. He was a puzzle, a cipher, someone whose silence felt louder than any lyric. And that silence became part of the intrigue. He didn't deny anything. He didn't confirm anything. He just disappeared. Tour dates were canceled. Brand deals dropped. His social media went dark. And the fans who once praised his vulnerability were now dissecting every post, every lyric, every frame of every video. Because when the art starts to mirror reality, people stop asking, "What does this mean?" and start to ask, "What did he actually know?" David built a career on emotional honesty. But now, that honesty feels like a trail, one that could have led to a Grammy, but instead dawned on a Tesla parked in the Hollywood Hills. And the person behind the persona? Still silent. September 8th, 2025. A Model 3 sits abandoned on Bluebird Avenue, a quiet street off Sunset in the Hollywood Hills. It's been there for days, ticketed, ignored, collecting dust. But when a tow yard finally retrieves it, something's off. The smell, the weight, the silence. Inside the trunk, they find a body. Decomposed, unrecognizable, but not anonymous. The LAPD confirms the identity. Celeste Rivas Hernandez, 14 years old, reported missing multiple times over the past year. The discovery sends shockwaves through Los Angeles and through the internet. Because the Tesla, It's registered to David. The headlines hit instantly. Body found in car, linked to viral musician. David's Tesla tied to teen's death. The story isn't just tragic, it's cinematic. And fans, already primed by his dark visuals and cryptic lyrics, start connecting dots. The body was found a few days before Celeste's birthday. The car had been ticketed days earlier, and the tattoo on her index finger, a small shh, identical to one David has posted on his own hand. Not a coincidence, not a fan tribute, a match. The internet erupts. Reddit threads, Discord leaks, TikTok theories. Some claim she was his girlfriend. Others say she was obsessed with him. A few believe she was older than she claimed, possibly using fake IDs to appear 19. But the facts are murky. The LAPD confirms the body, confirms the car, confirms the connection, but not the cause. The autopsy is deferred, toxicology pending. No official charges, just silence, and that silence is deafening. David cancels his world tour. Brand deals vanish. Crocs, Hollister, even a rumored collab with Converse. His social media goes dark. No statement, no denial, no defense, just a void where a voice used to be. Fans are split. Some defend him, citing lack of evidence. Others dissect every lyric, every video, every interview. Romantic homicide suddenly feels less poetic. One More Dance looks like a blueprint. And the Tesla? It's no longer just a car. It's a crime scene. The LAPD searches a Hollywood Hills rental linked to David. Electronics are seized. Neighbors report seeing him days before the discovery. But again, no arrest, no charges, just an ongoing investigation. And through it all, David says nothing. Because when the art starts to bleed into reality, silence isn't just suspicious, it's haunting. Celeste Rivas Hernandez wasn't a household name. She was a 14-year-old girl from Lake Elsinore, California, a quiet suburb about 90 minutes from the Hollywood Hills. But her story, once buried in missing persons reports and family pleas, is now at the center of one of the most disturbing investigations in music history. Celeste had been reported missing multiple times in 2024. Her family described her as bubbly, sweet, and troubled. She'd run away before, sometimes staying with extended relatives. But this time was different. She didn't come back. Her mother told TMZ that Celeste had a boyfriend named David. She never met him. But fans quickly connected the dots. David's artist name just so happened to be his real name, and the evidence didn't stop there. Photos surfaced of David with a girl who looked strikingly like Celeste. In most of them, she's covering her face. Hoodie pulled tight, designer bag in front of her mouth. But the clearest image came from a live stream where David answered fan questions with a girl beside him. After the stream ended, he allegedly instructed mods to delete the footage. Then came the tattoo. Celeste had a small shh inked on her right index finger. It was one of the few identifying marks left on her body. David has the same tattoo, in the same spot. And while it's a popular design, Rihanna has it too. TMZ confirmed he didn't have it until after Celeste went missing in April 2024. Coincidence? Maybe. But fans weren't convinced. On Discord, flirtatious messages between David and a user named Celeste date back to 2022, when she would have been just 11 years old. A leaked demo from December 2023 titled Celeste includes lyrics that feel disturbingly specific. Oh, Celeste, the girl with my name tattooed on her chest. Smell her on my clothes like cigarettes. I hear her voice each time I take a breath. I'm obsessed. Other songs, Hello Kitty Shirt, Rehab, even Romantic Homicide, now feel like breadcrumb trails. The visuals, even darker. In Rehab, his anime avatar dismembers a girl. In Romantic Homicide, he stares at a bloodied body in bed. Celeste's brother claims she wanted to wait until she was 18 to get married. He believes David killed her. He says he reported it to police, but nothing happened. And now, the internet is doing what the system didn't, investigating. Because Celeste wasn't just a fan. She wasn't just a girl in a video. She was a person. And the silence around her story is starting to crack.
Before we continue on, we would like to give our condolences to her family and close friends. Our hearts go out to you all, and may she rest in peace.
Now, the Tesla discovery didn't just spark headlines. It triggered a full-scale investigation. Within 48 hours, LAPD officers executed a search warrant on a Hollywood Hills rental property linked to David. Neighbors reported seeing him there days before the car was towed. Inside, police seized multiple electronic devices, phones, laptops, hard drives, but no arrest was made, no charges filed, just a statement. He is cooperating. That word, cooperating, became a lightning rod. To some, it meant innocence. To others, it meant delay. And in the vacuum of official answers, the internet is what started to fill the silence. Reddit threads exploded. TikTok sleuths dissected every lyric, every video, every timestamp. Discord mods claimed they were told to delete old live streams featuring Celeste. One even alleged that David had asked them to scrub her name from chat logs. The subreddit dedicated to his music was locked after users began posting screenshots of deleted messages. Meanwhile, David's career began to unravel. His world tour was canceled without explanation. Brand deals vanished. Crocs, Hollister, even a rumored Converse collab pulled out. His Spotify bio was wiped. His Instagram went dark. No apology, no denial, no defense, just silence. And that silence spoke major volumes. Fans were divided. Some clung to the idea that he was being framed, that Celeste was older than she claimed, that the tattoo match was coincidence. Others saw the silence as confirmation. If he was innocent, one user wrote, he'd say something. But David didn't say anything. Not in interviews, not on social media, not through his music. And that absence became its own kind of presence. Because when an artist builds a brand on vulnerability, silence feels like betrayal. The LAPD remained tight-lipped. Toxicology results were pending. The cause of death was deferred. And without charges, the case hovered in limbo. Technically open, emotionally explosive. Meanwhile, David's music surged in streams. Romantic Homicide re-entered the charts. One More Dance hit a new peak. Fans weren't just listening, they were decoding, searching for clues, trying to understand how a kid who sang about heartaches and heartbreak ended up at the center of a homicide investigation. And through it all, the question remained. Who was Celeste to him? A fan? A girlfriend? A muse? Or something else entirely? The answers weren't coming from the police. They weren't coming from David. They were coming from the art. And the art was starting to look like evidence. David built his career on silence. Not the absence of sound, but the kind that lingers between lyrics. The kind that makes you lean in, wondering what's being held back. His music was never loud. It was intimate, vulnerable, a whisper in a world of noise. But now, that silence feels different. It's not poetic. It's not mysterious. It's chilling. A body found in his car. A tattoo match. A girl named Celeste, who may have been more than just a muse. And through it all, David has said nothing. No statement. No denial. No grief. Just a void where a voice used to be. And maybe that's the most haunting part. Because when an artist builds a brand on emotional honesty, silence becomes its own kind of betrayal. Fans aren't just confused, they're conflicted. They want answers. They want closure. But all they have is art. And the art is starting to look like evidence staring down a steep slope, with lyrics about obsession, obvious videos with bodies in trunks, songs that feel like confessions. It's not just uncomfortable, it's uncanny. Like the music was trying to tell us something all along. But here's the twist. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe David was just a kid expressing pain the only way he knew how. Maybe the darkness was metaphoric. Maybe the visuals were stylized. Maybe Celeste was a tragedy he didn't cause, but couldn't stop. Or maybe the silence is exactly what it looks like. Now, the investigation is ongoing. No charges have been filed. Toxicology is pending. And until the facts come out, all we have is speculation. But speculation is loud, and silence, in contrast, becomes deafening. David's streams are surging, his videos are being rewatched, his lyrics are being dissected like court transcripts. And the question isn't just what happened, it's who was he, and just who the hell is he really? Because the boy in the closet, recording songs on a phone, felt relatable. The artist on stage, singing about heartbreak, felt vulnerable. But the man behind the Tesla? He feels so unknown. And maybe that's the real tragedy. Not just the loss of Celeste, not just the unraveling of a career, but the realization that the person fans thought they knew might never have existed. David's silence isn't the usual PR strategy. It's a statement, a void, a mirror. And in that mirror, fans are seeing something they didn't expect. Themselves, their obsession, their complicity, their hunger for mystery, even when it hurts. Because when the music stops and the silence speaks, what it says might be louder than any song ever played.
And I just want to say, just as a whole, just if it was my daughter, I wouldn't want her to be forgotten. I just want justice for this little girl, because whatever happened to her, it wasn't just an accident.